This is Marvel United the Ultimate Campaign, playing everything Season 1, and we are on the final throws now. 2 more villains before we come to Infinity Point. So, let's have a look at who we're facing today. We have Kingpin. Okay, he has a special setup, which includes these tokens. I've not come across these before. So shuffle the 6 plan tokens. Place 1 on each location with the number face up. So they all have numbers. So we're going to go into fashion 1 through to 6. So 5, 1, 4, number 3, 6, and number 2. Okay, and let's have a quick look at the locations that we have. So we've got shielded quarters. At the end of the turn, discard a card from your hand to off your deck to remove a crisis token from anywhere. I don't know if they're being used in this game. We have Start Lab. At the end of the turn, swap a card from your hand with one of your cards from the storyline. Very, very useful for that. And the Shield Helicarrier. At the end of the turn, move to any other location. We have Avengers Tower. You may search your deck for one card, set it aside, shuffle your deck, and place that card on top. Have the New York Police Headquarters. You may discard 1 thug from any location, and finally at Central Park you may move up to 2 thugs or civilians of any combination from this location to any other. Okay, so we are back into the core locations. Fisk, well, first, so that's as his land and playground. Let's have a look at his special rules. When a hero is knocked out, Kingpin doesn't activate his ban. Instead, he plays another master plan card. When he abounds, he deals 1 damage to each hero in location. In the event that he can't place a token because of overflow, deal 1 damage to each hero in that location. And his vanilla spot is the heroes lose when Kingpin has discarded all 6 plan tokens. Now, there's nothing on this card that tells us how he does that, so I presume this information will be contained in his deck. So we will find out how that works very shortly. In the meantime, of course, we're now into the last throes of battle. We are playing the hard challenge, so joining us today against Kingpin we have Jessica Jones, removing her double wild, and she'll be teaming up with her classic teammate Cage, also removing his double wild. Okay, so talking of which, let's go ahead and have a look at Kingpin's threats. So, we've got Henchman, of course. Why would we expect anything else from the Kingpin? Okay, so we've got Bullseye with 5 health. When he bans, you do 1 damage to each hero in this location, and both adjacent ones. Discard 1 civilian from each of those locations without heroes. Okay, we have a threat. Corrupted elite thugs. Any civilian in this location is immediately turned into a thug. Each thug in this location requires 2 damage to be defeated. Wow. Okay, secrets. As long as it's strength in play, any rescue civilian discarded instead of being placed on the mission card. Okay. Connections. As long as it's traded in play, any defeated thug are discarded instead of being placed on the mission card. More connections and more secrets. Gives us an idea of what will be happening and be facing off against. I'll be right back in 1 moment. Apologies folks, just realised I didn't have my mic attached, so hopefully not lost too much audio there, but the main gameplay will be fully audible. Just to say, really love this. Look at that, that's such a stonking mini. Fantastic. Loving that. Oh, and let me just grab a hold of, of course, his opponents. Certainly Luke Cage is fairly beefy himself. Of course we have Jessica Jones will be fighting off against him. So, pull out. So let's roll a die and see where Kingpin will be starting. Oops. So we got a 2. So he will begin over at Stark Labs. Thank you for that. Which means our heroes will be beginning at at New York Police Headquarters. Very good. One thing I didn't do was put out all the civvies and thugs. Apologies, I will do that now. Cool. I've really enjoyed seeing Wilson Fisk on the screen with the Disney Plus TV shows and whatever they were on prior to that. Was it Hulu? Don't know. Maybe. You know, featuring Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Iron Fist. And, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Forming up the Defenders, I believe it was. I'm trying to think if there is. I suspect there might be Hell's Kitchen specific locations in Marvel United Season 3. I think certainly we've got I think we've got some more of that content due. Certainly I remember Marvel Zombies did include Daredevil's legal companions. Okay, so we also have Fisk, or Kingpin as his street name, I would assume, requires 6 damage in a 2-player game. That is beefy. This we're gonna have to go some for this, definitely. And Bullseye requires 5 hit points of damage to take out. So at this moment I'm wondering, am I better to stay on the other side of the board and just avoid Bullseye and take out whatever threats I can. 3, 4, 5. We will see. Okay. So we're all set up on the board, ready to go. Of course, as always, the villain will go first. So let's have a look, see if we can work out how these. Okay, advance the plan. Place him in the location with the lowest number plan token and discard it. Now, funnily enough, he's actually in the lowest plan number location, so that is discarded. Wow. Okay, that's it, folks. Simple as that. Then he's going to BAM. Deal 1 damage to each hero in Kingpin's location, which is none. The only other card out on the board with a BAM is Bullseye. Deal 1 damage to each hero in this location and each adjacent location. Discard 1 civilian from each of these locations without heroes. Okay, so that means we will discard a civilian from Shield Headquarters. We'll discard a civilian from Stark Labs, and we'll discard a civilian from Central Park. So civilians are definitely off the menu whilst he's around. Okay. And then he's not going to put anything out in his location, but he will put out 3 thugs, wow, in his adjacent location to his left. Which would come here. He can only put 1 out over at the Shield Helicarrier, which means if 1 or more tokens cannot be placed, deal 1 damage to each hero in that location. Thankfully, we're not there, so we got away fairly scot-free. Wow, that was a lot of stuff for a start. Okay, so we're drawing up for Jessica Jones as a starting hand, and wow, 1 of everything. A double attack. Let's draw up for Luke Cage as well, because that might assist us in deciding what we want to place. Oh, so he's got a couple of his specials. Let's have a look. So we've got regenerative healing factor, draw 2 cards with a single attack. And we also have superhuman strength. So this turn you may have as many extra punches as the number of cards in your hand. Okay. Wow, so I could definitely see how that would go. Those two would definitely combo together very nicely. Whew. So we're going to start left to right. So we're over at Jessica to start us off. Okay. So we've got a good spattering of thugs out there. So we've got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is what we need out there on the board. Now some of these are going to take a bit more effort to clear due to the Kingpin's connections. Maybe the corrupted elite thugs, maybe I should have swapped out that civilian straight away. Because it's not when he lands on it. That's very confusing. Anyway. Okay. Otherwise, but it does mean we can't okay, we can't defeat thugs in either of Avengers Tower or New York Police Headquarters. Thankfully there's only one thug there. These thugs are going to require extra damage whilst this is in play. And then the only other thing is the henchman. So it's quite a complex one. Starting with Jessica. See, if she had a double heroic feat, I might be tempted to put that down, but she does not. Therefore, I'm wondering. I mean, Kingpin is definitely going to go here in his next move. I better play a move card, maybe. Let's go with that. Let's see how we fare. So Jessica Jones will move to Central Park. That's it. That's her turn done. We are to Luke Cage. Sorry, he should have drawn 3 and then that was his 4th, but there you go. And there's no point him doing the attack whilst he's there. So we'll do Luke Cage's regenerative healing factor, and that means he can do a move and then attack. So that's our first thug on the board, and he'll get to draw 2 additional cards. So let's have a look, see what he gets. We've got another heroic feat and another move. Wow, okay, lots of single actions. Okay, back to Jessica, who draws her expert detective. Let's have a look at that. So reveal the top card of the master plan deck, gain wild tokens equal to the movement number written on it. I suspect that may not be that or that, but we'll find out. Okay, Jessica has an attack. We could try that card and see. Like I say, I've not played against Kingpin, so I don't know what he's got in his deck. I don't know if I'm likely to turn up a number of movement or not. Kind of worked well if it did, though we probably want to get out of shot of Bullseye as well. So that's fine, let's do that. So we'll do a move with her expert detective.
So let's go ahead and look at the top card of the master plan deck. It is 3. Nice. Gain 3 wild tokens. That is a beautiful move. Well done, Jessica. That's awesome. Like that. Okay, so she's already got 3 wild tokens. Amazing. And of course that is it. That is oh, and then she can move. So she will move. She'll do an attack for that final thug that's there, and then do a move back to New York Police Headquarters. Unfortunately, Luke Cage has been lumbered, stuck where he is. Let's see. Well, at least we know what Kingpin will do. So he's actually going to go. Ooh, he's going to go to Jessica Jones. Do I want to move her then? Alternatively, clear off. Alternatively, what could I do? Because I now know he's going to move 3. Just gain those 3 wild tokens, which means he will end up at New York Police Headquarters, and he's going to put out a bunch of civilians in Central Park and Avengers Tower. That's fine, we've got capacity for that. So we've attacked here. He is going to bam, which means we will take a point of damage. This location, both adjacent locations, is it worth then going and trying to take out Bullseye? Maybe. Oh, God. Analysis paralysis, guys. Apologies. That's fine. Let's do that. We're going to move to Shield Headquarters. We're done. It is Kingpin's turn. So he's going to move 3. So that will take him to Police Headquarters. He's going to enact his BAM, which will do 1 damage to each hero there, which is none. The only other BAM on the table then is Bullseye. Deal 1 point of damage to each hero in this location, which is Jessica. So she will get rid of the heroic feat. And then and both adjacent ones. So will also impact Luke, and he'll also get rid of a heroic feat. Right, yeah, no, that's fine. If it was double, it'd be different, but it's not. Okay. Okay, and then discard 1 civilian from each of those locations without heroes, which is null impact here, which is the other adjacent one. So that is it for Bullseye's BAM. And Kingpin will now proceed to put out 2 civilians to Central Park and 2 civilians to the Avengers Tower. I've got a lot of right feats, perhaps. Okay. So that is it for Kingpin. We are back to Luke Cage. Draw a card. Nigh invulnerability. Okay, so let's have a look and see what that does. So you get to draw 1 card. You cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn, and adds an attack into the storyline. So that's what that gives us. We've already got a move in the storyline. What to do? So we could do a move and attack with a view to attacking. With a view to attacking Bullseye. I think he's probably actually causing the most chaos at the moment. So I think we're going to use that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it worth him using his superhuman strength instead? Maybe. I think that probably is. Could be a mistake, but we'll see. So, means Luke Cage will move Shield Headquarters. It will do 4 of the 5 points of damage to Bullseye. And that's it. That's the end of his move. He could move to start labs. Is there any point? I don't think so. I'll leave him where he is. Okay, so that's it for Luke. We are back to Jessica Jones. So she'll draw a card. Psionic Protection. You may draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. Oh, nice. Doesn't give her the attack she needs, however. So, we're going to do the double attack. So that goes to the storyline, which means you can do a final attack to Bullseye. He is gone, threat cleared. And she has a move and an attack left. You may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom to get rid of a crisis token. Useless. So she could move, but I don't think there's much point her moving. Oh, maybe shoot. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll do an attack. I put that in the wrong place. Apologies. There we go. So she'll do an attack, and then she'll move to start labs with a view to start working on that threat there. Okay. So we've cleared 3 thugs, 1 threat. There are another 5, 6 thugs out on the board at the moment, so we do have what we need to start attacking, but we are not there yet. We are back to Luke Cage. We'll draw a card, single wild. He's got double attack in his hand. I almost really want to folks, flipping heck. Okay, let's do a move and a heroic feat. With the double attack in play, it means we can move Luke to start labs, put a heroic feat token on the corrupted elite thugs, and then do 2 points of damage to clear 1 of those elite thugs, and that's as much as we can do. And that is it. That is our turn done. We are back to Kingpin, who will move 4, not BAM, but put out civilians. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 rushes straight past us, and 4 over to Shield Helicarrier. Now he can't put out civilians here, therefore let's have a look. 1 or more tokens cannot be put out. Deal 1 damage to each here in that location. So nothing, no impact there. But we do have 1 civilian that can be put out here. But then this says any civilian in this location is immediately turned into a thug. So that happens. And then there is 1 civilian to the other side, which again can't happen. That's full. So we are back to overflow. Deal 1 damage to each here in that location. And of course, there are no heroes here, so we are got away fairly scot-free, in fact. Okay, so that is Kingpin's turn. We are back to Jessica Jones. We'll draw a card. So she can move and attack. We've got a move and a heroic feat. So I think she's going to do her wild to enable her to do clear the corrupted elite thugs. So that's gone. That's the wild as a heroic feat and the other heroic feat. She has got a move left. It should stay where she is. What's worth her swapping from her hand to the storyline? I think it's worth her swapping a move and a punch for a double punch. Maybe. At the end of your turn, you may swap one card from your hand with one of your cards in the storyline. Oh, do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to swap the single for the double attack. So that'll go in there. Very powerful stuff. Okay. She reclaims her double attack. I mean, she could do... Oh, we've cleared another threat. That's 2. That's 4. I mean, she could use the couple of the double wilds just to clear those thugs off. Not sure I want to. Ooh, this is tough, folks. This is tough. No, that's fine. We'll leave them there. Okay. So Luke Cage draws a card, move and attack to add to his other move and attack. 9 vulnerability. Draw a card. You cannot take any damage till next beginning of your next turn. We've got a wild in the storyline. So I'll tell you what, folks, we could do. Let's do a wild, which means Luke can clear the 2 thugs that are here with those 2 wilds now that they've been dealt with. And Luke also then has the ability to swap cards. So I think he's going to swap his 9 vulnerability with his superhuman strength. Oops, sorry. So his superhuman strength for his 9 vulnerability. So it's just as a reminder, superhuman strength. This turn you may have as many attacks as there are the number of cards in your hand. In fact, I'm not going to swap that. I'm going to swap this single move card instead, because it doesn't say anything about whether it has to be a special or not, or what. Because that 9 vulnerability at least does enable me to draw another card. Okay, so we're back to Jessica. We'll draw a card. How are we doing now? So she could do a move in her 8 feet, puts her in the same vicinity as Kingpin, but starts us off towards clearing the next threat. So I think that's what she's going to do. So we'll go into the storyline. So Jessica will move and apply 2 heroic feats to this threat. And we'll see. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to use a wild token to clear that threat. So that's gone. At the end, you may move to any other location at the end of your turn. Is it worth me moving, and where would I want to move to? No, it's fine. I'll stay where I am. Okay. Yeah, let's stay where I am. Okay. Oh, no surprises. Right. It is Kingpin's turn. Okay. Advance the plan. Place him in the location with the next lowest number plan token and discard it. So we're looking for number 2, which is over here in Central Park. Kingpin rushes off on his way down to Central Park and discards his second of 6 master plan tokens. And then he does BAM, which is 1 damage to Kingpin's location, none. And then he's going to put out 3 thugs, and we have plenty of space for them. So 1, 2 and 3. That's fine. We have done well. So we are back to, that goes to the storyline. We are back to Luke Cage. You'll draw a card. Single attack. Where is he and what's he got? He's got a move and a heroic feat. So I think we'll do this. Let's do 9 vulnerability. So that enables him to draw a card. Can't be damaged until the next turn. He's going to do his move. And we're doing a heroic feat to rescue a civilian. And he gets an attack as well, so we'll defeat a thug. Okay, that's it for Luke. We are back to Jessica. We'll draw a card. Double heroic feat. She needs to move. She could use a wild and do a double heroic feat. Blast attack before she leaps. Oh, can take a chance. Okay, so she's going to do her double heroic feat. She'll use the single attack from Luke first to defeat a thug. She'll use a wild token to enable her to leap and put 2 heroic feats on. Now this is where it always becomes crunch. In fact, no, it's not become crunch because this is the 3rd action. She will clear that threat because it makes no difference now with that final wild token. That is our 4th threat cleared. So the villain Kingpin now acts after every 2 turns. That is it. At the end of the turn, you may search your deck for 1 card, set it aside and shuffle your deck. So that applies to Jessica. Let's have a sneaky peek then, see what else she's got in her deck. Anything useful. Got single heroic feat, an attack, and an attack with private investigator. Reveal the top card of master plan card. Let's stick that one on top. We need to get to Kingpin and attack. No, we need to defeat 1 more thug. Then we need to get to Kingpin and attack. Okay, so we are Kingpinning. Kingpin will move too. So let's have a look. He'll move through Shield headquarters onto Stark Labs. And he's going to BAM, but there are no heroes there for him to damage. And there's no other BAM triggers on the board. And then he'll put out 3 civilians. I will need those civilians. And 1, and 2, and 3. No real risk and threat at the moment. Okay. And that's it. That's the entirety of his go. And we are doing 2 turns. So it's now Luke to Jessica. So Luke will draw his final card. Got everything we need now. He's got a double heroic feat in his pocket. This turn you may have as many extra attacks as the number of cards in your hand. What are we going to do, folks? Problem is I can't actually attack him yet. Therefore, but hereafter it goes down. So we're doing a move and an attack. We're going to attack that thug. And that clears that. So Kingpin is now vulnerable. Move and attack. Okay. And what else has he got in the storyline? Oh, double heroic feat. So we'll do a heroic feat and rescue this civilian. Then he'll move to here and do an heroic feat to rescue this civilian. Now, he can now swap something from the storyline if we need it. Just trying to think what other specials. Draw 2 cards, that would be handy. Let's swap that for a heroic feat. Okay. Sorry. So he moved from the shield helicarrier to start labs. He rescued 2 civilians, so they're now here. We cleared the final threat, final thug. That's done. And he swapped, ending up in Stark Labs, gave him the ability to swap a card from his hand to one of the storylines. You saw me take one from his hand. And we chose instead the regenerative healing factor to draw 2 cards. I don't know why I chose that, because we haven't actually got any cards to draw. That was possibly a bit silly for me. But I don't think there's much better out there for me to grab, so that'll do for now. Okay, so it's back to Jessica, who will draw a card. Private Investigator, because we stacked that with her ability, with the locations ability. So that will give her a single move and an attack. I think she's better to do a double move and an attack and do sonic protection instead. So that means she gets to do 1, 2, and the first point of damage off Kingpin. And again, she now has the ability to swap 1 card with another card. I don't think there is one that's worthwhile, to be honest with you. It's attacks we need, hopefully. She's got to move and attack. She has got to move and attack. Okay, let's do move and attack. Just in case. Just in case. And I get to heal. So that's nice. Got another attack. Okay. That's it for us. We are back to Kingpin. Just going to move 5. So that will put him down to shield headquarters. So he'll go right the way around to here. And oh, this could hurt. He's going to put out 3 in this location. So 1 thug and 1 civilian. The 3rd civilian he can't put out. So he'll do 1 damage to each here in that location, which is none. And he's going to put out 3. So a thug and 2 civilians over at Start Labs, which he can do. And then he's going to put out 3 over at Central Park, which is 1 thug, and then he can't afford to put any civilians out at Central Park because that is full. So it means he then bams once more. So, but there's no heroes to take damage there. So that worked absolutely beautifully in our favour. It is back to Luke Cage, and we have a move, which means I think it is time for him to do his extra attacks. So he will move to Kingpin's location, and his card says superhuman strength. This turn you may have as many extra attacks as the number of cards in your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is 4 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving a single point of damage. And Jessica nicely beautifully lined up with a move in the storyline, so she can absolutely do a move and then attack anyway, and move here at great speed and propensity. And boom, the final hit point from Kingpin has gone. And that was it, folks. Wow, okay. So yeah, it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. I thought it was interesting in that there seemed to be a lot going on. There was lots of cards and lots of having to read and be aware. And Bullseye was definitely an impact. Half of the board, every time Kingpin banned, half the board was being impacted by Bullseye. So I think taking him out early on, absolutely the right thing to do. But yeah, Kingpin only got 2 of his master plans. Now again, it's luck of the draw, folks. Yeah, we saw this in the previous game with Hela. Her 3 main cards that have absolutely made life abysmal for us were the last ones in her deck, and we didn't get impacted by them. And on this occasion, let's just have a quick look and see what else Kingpin would have been throwing at us. Advanced master plan, and bam, put out tokens. Stay where he is, and bam. Advanced master plan, and bam. Advanced master plan, and bam. Advanced master plan, and bam. Move 1, put out 3 tokens. Yeah, so I mean, there was a good spattering of stuff out there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think we saw 2. So yeah, I mean, that's all 6. That's all 6. So Kingpin does have to go through a good amount of his deck, and it really is various as to where that order happens to fall, as to how impacted you happen to be from game to game. But I like that. That's one of the things I like about Marvel United is it's got that edginess to it. It's got that flexibility. You never quite know what's going to come up. Again, we saw Jessica had that ability to be able to look at the next master plan. That absolutely paid dividends for us. Got us 3 wild tokens. I think that was there was a 5. There was a move 5 in there. So could have been a move 5. Would have been zip. There's a lot of those cards, the majority of the cards, where you get no movement at all. So yeah, we did very well. That one served us very well and definitely helped to make that difference and swing that tide for us. But yeah, that's it, folks. So Jessica and Luke Cage survived to fight another battle. They did a stellar job facing off against Kingpin, and they've preserved their city for another day. Excellent, loving it. Okay, and that's it. And now we are on to the final villain before we go ahead and face off against Thanos and his family and the Infinity Stones, Infinity Gauntlet. So I hope you're enjoying this ride, folks. I am thoroughly enjoying it, loving all the different variation of the special rules. I think that was the first one I've seen, I think, where we've used tokens out on the board. I know for sure there's a lot more of that to come. Really excited about that content. Otherwise, that's it, folks. Thank you as always for watching. If you've liked this video, please hit that like button. If you want to encourage me to see more, then hit that subscribe button. That really does encourage me. Otherwise, folks, all I say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.